My name is David Macharia, and this is Founders Friday. I'm a photographer at Versatile Photographers. Apart from that, I'm a mentor. I mentor young people how they can start their own business, and I walk through the journey with them. And I'm a conservationist. I care what's surrounding us, and I create awareness through my camera. I create some pictures, and I create awareness how we should conserve our wildlife, our culture, and again how we can sell this country. First of all, I got in photography business because I found myself working in a studio. After my fourth form, I joined my dad. I started supporting his business, and I learned the value for money. And since I was very naive, and I knew what money is by that time, I started thinking out loud, how can I also earn my own money? And I used to do a lot of projects back at home where I come from, that is Kinangop, where I used to help my dad to sell some bags, and again, his friends also used to recommend me to do some project for them. And so long as something that was profitable, I was going for it. And every time I get an opportunity, I used to give value. Then with that, one of my dad's friends, he requested me, before I go to college, can I work, or can he get me a job where I can work in Nairobi? Then that was it, and I was like, yes. And that's how I found myself working in a studio with no any background about photography. But when I started working in that studio, it was a printing studio. I dealt with so many photographers. That's why I learned about photography. When I was working at the studio, as much as I was earning my salary and I used to live somewhere around Kangemi, I used to feel like this is not where I belong. And I started dreaming, and I said, I would like one day I do a business that can bring me enough income for myself and also inspire other people. And at the time I realized photography is bigger than what I thought. And the year 2003, when I resigned, at the time I started being a freelance photographer back in the day, back in the Kangemi, and where I used to go house to house, requesting people I take photos of them, and I decided to disrupt the industry, because by that time people used to take photos. They used to take like a week or even 2 weeks. Then I started giving my images real time. I take a picture of you, I deliver it either the same day or the following day. And that was an excitement actually I brought in the industry. Used to go to the cyber, look for other prominent photographers in the world who does like the big magazines. And I asked them all the stupid questions. And lucky enough, some of them they answered, and I learned a lot. And I started implementing the skills I'm learning online into the real life, because I had the camera, although some of them they were borrowed camera, especially when you got the digital age. Digital camera was very expensive, so I used to borrow camera from Boniface Mwangi. Then I can go and do assignment, and I started building my portfolio. And that portfolio, the same portfolio, is what actually got me the jobs I never thought I can get. Because the power of a portfolio is you tell people what you can do with your own skills. And the people I network with, I started networking with a lot of people. I tell them, I'm a photographer and this is the kind of work I do. That time when I was working as a photographer and I was alone, I realized the kind of business I'm doing, I need to build an empire, because I don't want to do this business till the last day I'm in this earth. So I decided, let me build a portfolio and again, train other people so that they can actually be able to handle the assignment that I can't be able to handle. Because you can imagine, when I started the business, I used to be everything. I'm the one answering the phone call, I'm the one making art, doing the photos, I'm the one who is the editor. I started training other people because I felt like I don't need to do this alone. And that's why I started empowering people through the mentorship program I started back in the year 2007. And from there, there's so many innovations that have come along with photography. And that's why in Versatile Photographers, we have Versatile School of Photography, we have Versatile Adventures, we have Versatile Art Gallery, where we are actually displaying the kind of exclusive images we have for sale. And also we have Versatile Etiquette, where we try to train the soft skills that people need, especially young people, what they need to be able to fit in the market, because we are competing in the global market. And some of these courses, they are not in our schools. So how do you fit in the global market? So some of those courses is what we are trying to offer, and again, so we offer makeup. And we are coming up with a Versatile Creative Hub, where we can actually accommodate not just photographers, even other creatives who are interested to do business, and we can actually incubate them there so that they can actually, we walk the journey with them and tell them how they can actually invest in themselves. Back in the day, it used to be one-on-one. When I meet you and I, hey, my name is David and I'm a photographer, and in case I have my portfolio with me, I would like to show you what I do. And I show you, and if you like it, definitely you register something in you. I still even do that even today. But with the current technology, we use social media, because now with the website, we have the website, we have the social media pages like the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we put our portfolio there. Then sometimes we even do an ad. You can do an ad. You can actually do a paid ad, where you can actually reach the kind of target people we want. Like in our schools, we have students all over Africa, because we target Nigeria, Ghana, Tanzania. Those kind of clients, those are the places we know. They don't have photography schools, so we realize that's a very good market for us, and we have gotten so many students. Then in versatile photographers, we have so many events where we have photography in the world. We do it, it's a monthly thing. We take people to Nairobi National Park every month. We teach them how they can use their own camera. When they go for a holiday, they can actually take pictures. In case you want to take it as a professional, you can actually join our school. Then we can teach you the professional photography and how you can do it as a business. I don't have so many employees, because the important employee in a creative business is administration. Administration is the most important thing. People who get the jobs, the people who talk to the clients. But for the creatives, these are the people I inspire, I train to invest in themselves, so that I can be able to hire them as an individual, and I usually train them to run their own company. So what I usually do in my company, I have invested in administration, that I don't have more than 6 employees. So, but the number of people who work in my company, actually they are more than 40. Because each and every person is good at what they do. In case you come to me, you're looking for a job and you're an editor, I train you how we usually work. Then I can actually partner with your company, so that you can actually be able to add value to our company. But I don't have to have an employment contract with you. I only contract you depending on the job basis and depending with the client's brief. I have so many role models in my career as a business person. I have Richard Branson. I used to admire the way he does his business. The guy is always so much fun, and again, he ran a multi-billion company. And actually, for me to come up with my company, the name Versatile, I saw his company name, it's Virgin Atlantic, and again, we are used to companies, the logo, they look so serious, and his company is just a normal, the font in Virgin Atlantic. It was cool to me. I usually follow him, and I see how he does his business and how he relates with his staff. And I also have other local people who have actually inspired me, like Matthew, or the owner of Valentine Cake House. He's one of my greatest mentors, who have held my hand since we met like 11 years ago, and he showed me how to do business, and I admire the way he does his business. Then I also have other photographers who have actually mentored me, like Boniface Mwangi, that is like Muturi Kanini. I look at their work, and it inspires me every day. My biggest failure when I'm learning my business, I think it was sometimes back when I was starting. I didn't know the fundamentals of running a business. What I knew I need money, and I'm offering this solution to this problem. When the money came, definitely it confused me, because I didn't know how the best way to invest this money. But one of my biggest failure I did by that time, I never invested in my business in the right way. What do I mean by this? I never invested in structures and systems that could actually run my business without me. That's one of the biggest failure, because sometimes I could actually get people who are not competent to do a certain job, and I trusted them. By the time I'm realizing these are not the right people, I felt like, no, I'm not the kind of person who work without integrity. Because all along I have worked with integrity, and I don't like the way we have the mindset in Africa where we give mediocrity services. No, I don't like that. And it happened to me one day when I gave someone an assignment. He never did the way we had agreed. And by the time I felt like I'm not giving value to the client. And that is one of the biggest failures I realized in the creative world. My greatest success, what I can say, is what have inspired other young people. That's what I can actually say, because I think when I joined the industry, there was no those people who could actually offer mentorship, those people who could work with you And for me, I have actually mentored so many photographers, I've mentored so many videographers, and I have walked the same journey with them. By the time they are doing the mistake, I usually tell them, don't do these mistakes, I've already done them for you. So you just need to listen and execute some of the ideas that we share with some of my students. And I'm not just talking about just local Kenyans here, I'm just talking about the whole entire Africa. Some of the students we have here, I usually mentor them whenever they are outside the country. They get assignment, they ask me, David, how do I do this? I usually tell them, this is how even to quote, this is how to package yourself, this is how to do the delivery. And because in this world, if you don't give value to your client, your business is going down. I've done down so many clients because I believe in working with integrity. I don't need to take your money and I don't deliver what you wanted. So depending with the client's brief, all our clients usually, especially for commercial clients, once they give us the brief within our resources, if we can do it, we do it. If we can't do it, I usually tell the clients of the face, this one, we can't be able to do it. And maybe I recommend them to someone who can actually do it better. As a photographer, I like recording moments. And I have my exclusive images. That is the image for the squirrel. The reason why I made the squirrel image very exclusive is because of the story behind that image. Most of the people, we ignore the small things in life, but those are the things that matters. So the squirrel image, this is how I define it, because when you go to the forest, there's so many vegetations along the forest. You don't even have an idea who planted them, but they are just there. But that is the work of the squirrel. The squirrel usually gets the seeds, eats some of them, it hides some of them. It doesn't even eat everything, but the ones it forgets, they definitely germinate. And that's why you see these so many vegetations in the forest. And these are the things, the very little thing that we have in the forest is among the little animals actually, the rodents. And it does so much for the forest. Then I have the one for the Nairobi. I remember I took that picture, it was during Christmas, where I couldn't even go home for Christmas because I had a project I was working on. Then I decided to go to the rooftop where I used to go to the gym at VPAC Towers, and I did a long exposure image of entire Nairobi city when the lights were all lighting because it was on Christmas. And that picture gave me a very good story. I realized this is the hub of so many young people. You remember, like in Kenya, we have so many creatives, so great creatives, like, and you are very innovative, like the M-Pesa, and so many innovation. And I realized this is the hub of innovators. And when I took that picture, I felt like, yes, this is what would be one of my greatest image. And the image, I have made just a few copies, just for the size for like the 1 meter by 2 by 1 meter by 2 meter. I have made it very exclusive. It usually go for $1,200, and there are only 21 copies that are remaining. In the next 5 years, there's so much I want to have achieved. Already I have 2 branches. I'm looking forward to have another branch that is not just in Kenya. I'm targeting Tanzania and Rwanda, because I think the product that we have in the country is something that is really good, and is actually Africa. That's what they are looking for, how we can tell our own stories. But we don't have to wait for other people to come and tell our stories. We have to tell our stories ourselves. But nowadays with the technology, everyone is a photographer. You can actually be able to record something. But again, how do you record it? How do I train all these people, how they can actually be able to record their stories and tell to the world, this is what we are, this is what we have. If you're starting a business, why are you starting a business? So you need some money. You need to change your life. You need to be hungry. Every day you wake up, you better be hungry. Once you become hungry, you have the urge to look for something. But before you do that, first of all, invest in yourself. Yeah? The job markets have changed. In case you went to campus to learn something about journalism or something, the job market have really changed. And again, you must have a mentor, someone who is very good in what you want to do, so that you can actually, you don't do the mistake they have done, and they can actually work with you in the journey that you want to take. And again, look for some opportunities. There are so many, especially in Africa. We have so many opportunities that are waiting for us. But these opportunities, in case you don't take them, other foreigners are coming here to grab this opportunity as we watch, because we have not made the choices ourselves. What inspires me most is life, the things we see every day, the technology. It makes me happy because I see technology is making things very easy for us. Every day they are coming up with something that's solving our problems that we have been having for a very long time. That's what inspires me. And I always say, my motto is telling people, always be ready to learn. Most of all, be humble. Yeah, be humble so that someone else can be able to show you what they know. If you're not humble, we won't show you what you know. So, but again, you have to humble yourself so that you can ask questions. And again, ask the most stupid questions. The question you think you know, ask them.
My name is Abraham Butia. One, put God first. So I usually have a hashtag Godspeed. But my second one is, if you don't jump, you'll never fly.